Hello, and welcome to another discussion from The Chosen Ones. Today, we will be reviewing a case study on ovarian cancer called But I'm Too Young. Joining me today are Cynthia, Edward, Joseph, Joshua, and Philippa. First, let's review Abby's case. She is presenting with abdominal pain, which has led her to make a visit with Dr. Allen. Dr. Allen then performs an ultrasound and has found a mass on her right ovary. Dr. Allen then recommends surgery to have the mass and ovary removed. Let's put ourselves in Abby's shoes. What questions would you be asking if you were in this kind of situation?
What other symptoms have I been experiencing that could potentially contribute to Dr. Allen's findings?
The symptoms you have been experiencing that could potentially contribute to Dr. Allen's findings include abdominal pain.
How risky is this surgery, and what could potentially happen if I do not move forward with it?
To answer your question, Josh, the risk and potential outcomes of surgery depend on various factors, including the specific details of the case, the surgeon's expertise, and your overall health. Generally, ovarian mass removal surgery can be associated with risks such as bleeding, infection, damage to the surrounding structures and organs, and adverse reactions to anesthesia. Your surgeon will be able to discuss the specific risks and potential complications with you. And as a follow-up example question, I would be asking, what precautions should I take now that I am aware of a mass found on my ultrasound?
Follow your doctor's recommendations. It's essential to closely follow the advice of the healthcare provider. They will likely provide guidance on future diagnostic tests, treatment options, and necessary steps to monitor them if the mass progress. Maintain regular medical checkups, schedule regular follow-up appointments with your doctor to monitor the mass and evaluate any changes in symptoms or size. This will help your healthcare provider determine if any further action is required.
To
How
answer your
risky?
Should Abby be worried?
A thickening or lump is a warning sign of cancer. I do believe cancer is a possibility, especially with the finding of a mass. Since cancer has not been ruled out just yet, it is important to consider a worst-case scenario in this kind of situation. I do think Abby should be worried about cancer.
Now, let's ask ourselves, do you know someone personally that has had cancer? I do, and he is more than just a cancer survivor. He is kind, motivating, and willing to share his experience with us today. Joe, I'll let you take over.
Yes, I do know someone who has had cancer. I myself had acute myeloid leukemia, which is different from the cells that we'll be discussing in the presentation. However, I do know someone who had colon cancer. My partner, 5 years, she passed away in 2020. She had colon cancer, and we were able to see the disease process with the tumor, how it grew, how it shrunk. We got to see the good, the bad, and the ugly with chemo, radiation. I myself only had to take Sprycel, which was a chemo pill.
Now, thank you, Joe. We really appreciate you sharing your experience. Next, we're going to ask, what is the difference between a cancer and a tumor?
Cancer is a disease that eventually disrupts the body's function, whereas a tumor is a mass of cells with no apparent function in the body.
Thank you, Joe.
Hey Josh, based on Abby CA 125 levels, is Abby likely to have a cyst or cancer?
Based on her CA125 levels, it seems apparent that she has cancer.
Hey Josh,
Why does cancer primarily affect older people rather than young people? Why does
Because
cancer
cancer
primarily affect older people rather than young people?
develops after multiple mutations, which takes years to happen. So, what do you expect cells to be like if they did not have properly functioning p53?
P53 is a tumor suppressant gene, and its responsibility is to regulate cell division. So, if there was an absence in P53 or that tumor suppressant gene, it likely will cause the damaged DNA to grow with damaged cells. And therefore, it will lead to cancer because there's nothing that is controlling the separation or the division of the cells.
Thank you all so far. We're going to move on and ask what would be considered in the BRCA1 and the BRCA2 genes that may be mutated in Abby's cells. Again, what would that be considered?
A tumor suppressor gene.
Thank you all.
Josh, can you tell me how does a cancer cell travel throughout the body?
The lymphatic system collects fluids from capillaries and with its cancer cells, which are then delivered by the circulatory system.
thank you Josh. Joe, do you think surgery can successfully cure a cancer that has metastasized?
It is important to note that surgery is not always a curable option for cancer. It is an effective option when it comes to a localized cancer tumor. But in the case of a metastatic cancer, it is not curable by surgery because it has spread throughout parts of the body. So once it started to spread, it's no longer localized, making it harder to treat or to effectively cure.
Thank you Josh.
C. Change in bowel or bladder habits. This refers to any noticeable changes in your normal bowel movements or urinary patterns, such as increased frequency, blood in the urine or stool, constipation, or diarrhea. A sore that does not heal. This includes any persistent or non-healing sores, ulcers or wounds on the skin, or mucous membranes that do not show signs of improvement over time. U. Unusual bleeding or discharge. This involves any abnormal bleeding or discharge from any body surface. T. Thickening or lump in the breast or elsewhere. This refers to the discovery of a new lump, swelling, or thickening in the breast tissue or in any other part of the body. I. Indigestion or difficulty swallowing. This includes persistent digestive issues such as chronic indigestion, heartburn, difficulty swallowing, or persistent discomfort or pain in the abdomen. O. Obvious changes in a mole or wart. This involves the observation of any significant changes in the size, color, shape, or appearance of moles or warts on the skin. N. Nagging cough or hoarseness. This refers to a persistent cough that doesn't go away, or persistent hoarseness or voice changes that last for an extended period.
How is the acronym used for cancer detection and treatment?
I'd like to add that this is used for cancer detection and treatment by increasing chances of survival. This increases the chances of survival by providing a simple acronym that most people can memorize and recognize the warning signs of having cancer. So, once familiar with these red flags, our mind will automatically trigger caution and would hopefully encourage us to have a doctor's visit or an ultrasound ASAP if any of the following symptoms apply.
How is
So, with that, how does cancer result?
Cancer results when abnormal cells grow and spread uncontrollably, which can ultimately be a cause of death. It can also be found in the form of a malignant tumor, also capable of spreading. Cancerous cells travel through our vessels, allowing them to move through the body. This is called metastasis.
So, now let's compare the difference between tumor suppressor genes and oncogenes.
Normally, a cell will slow down its division in order to avoid mistakes in DNA. Tumor suppressor genes work as a halt from dividing too quickly, but if mutated, which is inactivated, will lose their function, leading to cancer. This is due to the following reasons: lack of repair in DNA, apoptosis is no longer able to begin, and an increase in cell proliferation.
Normally, oncogenes will promote cell cycle. Oncogenes is a mutated gene of proto-oncogene, a normal cell gene that promotes cancer. Proto-oncogene is what stimulates growth and division of cells in an accelerated form.
Now,
On behalf of everyone, I just wanted to take the time to say thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.